Hello, viewers. Despite not knowing what I'm doing, I made golden alcohol. I was inspired by this bangmanju recipe um, that involved mung bean flour. So that's what I'm making. So I start off making juk with 300 grams of sweet rice flour and 300 grams of mung bean starch with 600 milliliters of water. So that's my juk. Nice and chunky. In fact, it's very firm. And I mix my naruk as usual. So this is my interpretation of the recipe. I couldn't follow the recipe as written. Okay, it was much too thick to mix with a spoon. So I'm going to mix it with my hand. This is very sticky. This dough is very sticky. So I mixed it as best I could with my hand and put it in the jar with my hand too, making a bit of a mess. And I try to scrape off my hand with the chopstick. Okay, but that's the juk and the naruk mixture. This is very different than my normal recipe. This is full of gooey bubbles from the beginning. So it started off like such a firm dough, and then it becomes very, very soft and fluffy. It's very strange. It's the weirdest texture. It's full of bubbles. Okay, so as usual, the first stage is juk, second stage is godubab. So I'm actually making some extra rice here. I'm going to use the equivalent of 400 grams of sweet rice for the godubab. What you're seeing here is more than 400 grams. That's because I'm making another something else with the rest of it. Okay, but making the godubab and the leftover rice is for another project. So I ended up putting 600 grams of the cooked godubab, that's about 400 grams uncooked, and 600 milliliters of water. This was so bubbly. I've never made a recipe before that was so bubbly like this. This is so active. So this is something different. Yeah, it's bubbling like crazy. I don't know why the mung bean starch would make such a difference, but it did. So it's very liquid, very active. So I'm showing you the details here every day. Still active on day 4. So I'm going to use the match test to be more sure how active it is. So of course it goes out immediately here. Still bubbling away. You can see some of the rice grains floated to the top. Then by day 9, more rice floated to the top. There's actually a thin clear layer of liquid on the top too. Day 10, the match still goes out. There goes. Whoop. Now day 11. Oh, the match is going to stay lit. Sorry you can't see it, but I was going to burn myself. Yes, it stayed lit. So I'm going to let it go a few more days because I still hear it bubbling. And there's quite a layer of liquid near the top, and then some of the rice grains floated to the top. So I waited till day 15 to bottle. There's all the rice grains. Still some bubbling, but I'm going to bottle it. It's time. It's very liquid. You just have to scrape the sides a lot because it keeps on clogging up the strainer. Okay, and squeeze that. So I hardly have any shigemi left. There's only 236 grams left over. And I end up with, there's 2 liters there. 2 liters and a bowl. So that's great. Looks pretty normal there. Okay, so why is this golden alcohol? Well, because I'm supposed to drink the cheongju. Surprising to me, it produced a very clear cheongju, clearer than normal, clearer than any other batch I made. But there's a lot of sediment. A lot of sediment went through the strainer. Almost half the bottle is sediment. So that's very interesting. So I have a very clear layer, but a lot of sediment. The purpose is... Okay, so this is my brew inspired by the brewing recipe. I think this has settled as much as it's going to settle. It's been in the fridge for a couple of weeks. I tried drinking it mixed together with makgeolli. That's pretty much undrinkable. It's way too chalky. But the original recipe called for drinking the cheongju anyhow. So let's try the cheongju. Okay, there's no... it's not producing any carbonation in the fridge. Pretty much done. It looks pretty clear like that. I'm just going to pour it off carefully. Okay, the sediment moves around a little bit, but still stays on the bottom. Okay, so it's supposed to be golden color. Looks like that. Oh, so I can smell the alcohol. Pretty strong. Some of that rubbing alcohol smell. Yeah, this is strong. It has a pretty round texture for what it is. Maybe a little buttery or wheaty. Yeah, I don't know why this is so strong. So I thought this was going to be weak because of how it turned out when I strained it, but this is pretty strong. That's very interesting. So maybe a little vegetable taste. Actually, not too bad. I'm just surprised how this turned out. I wasn't expecting this. So it's more industrial kind of alcohol taste. Not subtle. The flavor is pretty subtle. Trying to describe it. Well, I'll think about the best way to describe it. So I'll just pour this off carefully and sip it and enjoy it. Thanks for watching.